and sadness and happiness. We will find out our sons and daughters of what we too were once about.
I reckon I made a few mistakes with you three, and thought maybe I might be able to do the right thing this time.
I don't reckon you did too bad.
Maybe I didn't. Pretty proud of all you, yeah.
I hope things turn out okay between you and Mum.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you look bored out of your mind.
No, not bored.
Oh, hardly chirpy. What's wrong?
I just had a call from Nan Keegan. Mum and Dad have broken up.
Oh, that's awful. Any idea why?
I don't know the full story. Apparently Mum's pretty upset about losing the baby.
I'm sure they'll get back together again.
Oh, I won't do much good moping around here. I'm going out, downtown. Won't be much fun for anyone if I stay at home.
Good idea.
Here, look.
Shut up, Wave.
Oh. What have you done to him?
Nothing.
You needn't look so happy about it.
Why not?
What's happened? I know that smile.
Oh, what should have happened? I just feel like smiling. Is there any law against it? One more word out of you, Bunty, and I'll up the rent. Oh. Well, hello there. Hello. Just checking up to see everything's all right. The two old chooks across the hall, they're not driving up the wall too much, are they?
No, not at all.
It's just that they're a pretty curious pair.
I don't think there's much about me that'd interest them.
You're a new face. That's good enough for them.
I think they're rather sweet.
Oh, yes. You'll see. Well, I'd better get back to it. Okay. See you. Bye-bye, dear. Well, hello there. What are you doing up here?
I'm not looking for you.
Oh, I like that.
I thought I'd pop in and see Di.
Aha, all right. I didn't think it was going to be Bunty and Phil.
I was hoping she feels like spending a night on the town. I feel so rotten.
Beryl and your dad.
I can't get them off my mind.
No, nor can I. It just seems so silly.
Time will tell, I suppose.
Yes, it certainly will. Enough of that. You came up here to get your mind off and do something about it.
Right.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, darling. He thought I was absolutely mad, so he went ahead and planted them upside down.
You can't have known too much about gardening.
Well, he was a nice enough chap. That's the main reason we kept him on. I must say, the garden's looking a lot better since you've arrived.
Oh, thanks very much.
Well, praise where it's due.
Well, good night.
Night, Paul. See? Simple, subtle.
Still be interesting to know what he's playing at, though. Reckon Fiona might have put him up to it?
No. To my knowledge, she doesn't even know him. And even if she had managed to get him on side, she'd have been blackmarking me from the start. There's no way she'd allow him to make up his own mind about me.
They're chatting like two old friends at the wedding. Didn't look as though they'd just met.
They were sitting next to each other. You know what she's like with young men.
It's a bit of a laugh, isn't it? You thought you were putting her next to the common old gardener.
You can turn around now. What do you like with buttons?
Give it a go. Bunny and Phil would love to see us.
Wouldn't have thought anything had shocked them. They are old buddies of Fiona.
And Fiona would love to hear you saying that, too.
Can't do much shocking her.
No, I reckon you're right. Oh, you sure haven't over-furnished the room. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
No, you're right. I sold everything off before I moved in. All I want is a place to rest my body at night.
At least you brought your bed.
That's why I didn't mind the size of the room.
You can't live for nothing but work. Not good.
No complications. Makes life a lot easier.
Yes, but not necessarily better.
Are we going out for a night on the town or breakfast?
All right, all right. But I'm warning you.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I am. Not a mention of Ramberg all night.
Or what?
Don't risk it.
See, I can't see Paul staying here very long once Angela arrives back. Somehow, I've got to get him to relax enough before then to admit to me who he really is. And if he does admit it to me, then I'll know that he trusts me. Al Mason told me that he's not too keen on taking up a directorship at Ramberg, but I can work on that once I know that he trusts me. Oh, for heaven's sake, turn the damn thing off.
I was watching that.
You're bug-eyed. I need some peace and quiet.
What for?
You haven't heard a word I've said, have you?
Was it worth hearing?
I was thinking aloud.
Wouldn't have been worth hearing.
Look, if you want to watch it, take it to bed.
Not that desperate.
Evening.
Hi, Rosie. How's your sister?
Oh, as well as can be expected. Want anything?
No, not for me, thanks.
No, nothing for me, thank you, Rosie. Why don't you have an early night?
Oh, thanks, I will.
Would you like to take the television?
No, thanks. Night.
Hi, Rosie.
Night.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. Not a thing. I just had an idea. Paul, I have to go into town again this morning. I wonder if you'd mind driving me.
Right, Mrs. Hamilton.
You can spend the rest of the day in the garden if you like.
Whatever you say.
Unless, of course, you think there's something more important around the place, then by all means do it.
Just how you like them. Now, don't leave them now.
Thanks, Rosie.
Wayne, you haven't forgotten your promise to Rosie, have you? The little runabout you were going to get for her to make it easier for her to see her sister?
No, I hadn't forgotten. I just haven't had time to take it a look, that's all.
Well, then I think it's time something was done about it. Paul, how about instead of taking me into the city, you drive Rosie around some car yards? That is, if you think you know enough about cars.
Oh, as much as most people, I think.
Good. Wayne, why don't you give Paul a blank cheque, save any bother?
Couldn't it wait a day?
Oh, why, when it's just as easy now?
I suppose.
I think we can trust you not to break the bank, Rosie.
Of course you can.
Rosie isn't exactly effusive when it comes to receiving gifts, but I'm sure she's thrilled.
I bet she is.
I wonder if before you go, you'd mind checking the amount of water in the pool. It rained fairly heavily overnight. I wouldn't want it flooding.
Done.
Thank you. Would have done some good, I think. Soul of generosity to a dear old lady.
Didn't know you were going to suggest a blank cheque.
Oh, don't worry. I'll give it back to you.
Well, my darling. Have a good day.
Bye, Mum.
Oh, off to school, love.
Yeah.
Bye, Mrs. Palmer.
Don't you work too hard.
I won't.
Bye.
Quiet pair, aren't they? Here's your tea.
Oh, thanks, Mum.
I think I'll put some things out on the line.
Fiona Thompson.
It's Beryl, Fiona.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
I can't begin to tell you. I need to talk so much.
I've always been a good listener.
Fiona, I've never felt so lost in my life. I feel I'm losing the children. I'm just so confused.
Anything I can do to help. You only have to ask.
Well, there is one idea I've come up with, but it will need your help.
I hope you don't mind going on the bike, Rosie. We could take one of the cars if you like.
Not as much fun, though.
Okay, if you're going, so am I.
Glad I don't know too many people in the city.
I could have done that.
You know you break them.
And you just finished a hard night's work.
You just see to the toast and keep quiet.
Thanks, love. Well, there's one good thing to come out of the whole rotten mess. Last night with Kev. Close I felt to him for months. I never have, really. Listen, I had to think, too, about your mum staying with you. You can't afford to keep her, and she shouldn't be expecting it. So until she decides to come back home, I'll send some money around every payday. You tell her that.
I'll tell her, but I reckon I know exactly what she's going to say.
You don't think she'll take it?
Pride won't let her.
What's pride got to do with it?
You know what I mean, Dad.
I still think it's right that I support her. I can't see what changes that. Do you think I should talk to her?
I wouldn't advise it. Leave it with me. I'll try and work around her.
You struck much of that? Well, what I mean is, you know, in your job, a woman losing a baby and the way they act.
Yes. I've seen all sorts of reactions.
Any the same as your mum?
Well, not exactly the same, but the symptoms are similar.
Well, how'd they get out of it?
Time. Realising it's nobody's fault. Being told how much they're loved.
I do love her, Susie. Well, thanks, love.
If you can see your way clear, Fiona, I'd be very grateful.
I said anything to help. And if you think that's going to, then I'll stick to my word.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much. I'll be in touch.
Bye-bye, love.
I'm popping down the shops. Is there anything you want?
No. No, thanks, love.
What's happened to you?
Oh, the last thing I wanted, actually. I've been sort of forced into buying into the split between David and Beryl. Just hope I'm doing the right thing.
If your father seriously expects me to accept money from him, it's an insult.
All right, Mum. But you're carrying on like a kid. You used to complain about how stubborn Dad is. You're 10 times worse yourself.
I don't want to talk any more about it.
Because you know I'm right. I give up. How do you get through to her?
Something else happened, too.
What?
It was just after the kids had gone for the day. She's made up her mind she's never going back to David.
But she'll get over that.
Well, she said she'd been thinking about it all night. She looked terrible first thing this morning.
Well, if she was thinking about it all night, it's probably just blown up in her mind.
Oh, well, it might have, but she seems determined. She wants me to go over to the house with her this afternoon and collect everything that's hers.
Well, how'd you go?
Oh, it's lovely. You know how to pick them.
You picked it, Rosie.
Oh, no, but you advised me.
Oh, if you want someone to thank, you should thank Wayne and Mrs. Hamilton. They must think a lot of you.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a present from Wayne. She hasn't got a generous bone in her body.
Well, better park it properly or she'll be complaining.
Good choice. Heard what she said. Don't worry, it happens all the time. She's never liked me.
Oh, why's that?
Rosie is related to Gordon's first wife, you see. So as far as she's concerned, I'm the Scarlet Woman.
Can't be easy.
Ah, I've learned to live with it. Thank you very much for taking her in, by the way. I was amazed when she agreed to ride pillion with you.
Just quietly, so was I. But it was a pleasure.
Nevertheless, I think you deserve the afternoon off.
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.
Hey, it's all your fault.
What is? What do you mean?
The client this morning made a terrific impression, and all because of your coaching last night.
Then I'm very pleased. Glad we didn't stick to the rules.
Rules? What rules?
You know, talk about Ramberg.
Oh, yes, well, now I am. You going somewhere?
Lunch. No, I want to buy a few things as well.
How about a drink tonight, then? Say thanks.
Yeah, sure.
I reckon Hal she'll be happy with me after this morning.
You never know.
That's about it. Oh, except for the baby things. Then can have those.
Well, I'll go and get the rest of the things out of the nursery.
No, I'll get them.
You sure?
Mum, I've done the crying. I'm all right. Why don't you take these things out to Susie's car and I'll be out in a tick.
Yeah, I'm very happy Rosie got a car, but it's not typical behaviour for Patricia.
Well, I think it was very good of her, after our talk last night.
She can't stand Rosie. She's done some terrible things to her.
Are you sure you're not being a bit one-eyed about her?
No chance. You know, what fascinates me is why she's going out of her way to be so pleasant. Seems like it could be a good performance for you. You know, I think she's onto who you are.
How could you possibly know? You're the only person.
Oh, it's the only explanation. Look, tell you what. Let's suppose, just suppose it's true. You keep your eyes open over the next few days and see if you can see anything to back it up.
Oh, I think you're wrong.
We'll see. Just keep them open.
Mum, you haven't. You know you're doing the wrong thing.
Am I?
You can't go through with it. You can't leave him.
Oh, changed your mind, have you? Siding with your father now?
I'm trying to act like an adult. You're the one who's always told me to. Dad loves you and you love him. You know you do. It doesn't make any sense. You always told me what a good marriage you had. You stuck up for him when he came back to you, even though I was carrying on. Don't blow it now.
If you want to take sides with your father, fine. But I thought at least you would. I can see I'm on my own. Well, if that's the way it has to be.
Could you come over here for a tick? What's the problem?
Just wonder what you thought about the sound of this. You being so good with mechanical things.
Oh, I'm not all that good.
From what I said, lucky with half your knowledge.
Should watch where you leave it.
Sorry.
But he's rude. Typical of him.
You think so?
Yeah, he's the same at work. Always high-handed with the employees who aren't on the executive level.
Funny, I always thought he was rather polite.
It's only because you're so easy to get along with. He's basically a terrible snob. Couldn't handle coming to live here. The money and so on, you know.
I think he's a nice guy.
Oh, well, at home, I suppose he's not too bad. It's mainly at the office where he shows his true colours.
Sounds fine to me.
But?
The car. Sounds fine.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for your help.
She's in here.
Could you leave us together? Beryl?
I don't think there's any more to say.
I do. And I want you to hear me out. There's not much I can say. But what it boils down to is that I love you. And I'm just as upset about the baby as you are. I'd never have gone to Sydney if I'd known how bad you were. I want you to come home with me. Now.
I don't want to.
Oh, Beryl. Beryl, you've made your point. Come home where you belong.
I don't think I do belong there, David. Not only am I leaving you, I'm leaving Melbourne too. I'm going to Sydney to live with Fiona, make a new life for myself.
Love is very strange. It can come and go. It can happen when you are young or old. When it comes from nowhere. When it comes, it changes your life. Sons and daughters, love and laughter, tears and sadness and happiness. We will find out our sons and daughters are what we two were once about. Sons and daughters, love and laughter, tears.